Alrighty. And since we are all ready, let's see. Do you want to say hello to the people on the YouTube channel watching the VOD? Hi,
VOD Squad. We sure do. Want to say hello.
I was a little avocado for a second there.
You should definitely switch back at least temporarily.
Greetings.
Oh,
it would be a crime to not show the VOD Squad, just saying.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm showing the VOD Squad the avocado. Hang on. Hello. That's me.
That's you.
You are a whale.
Oh my lord. I gotta show up like this to every collab now.
Good. Oh yes.
Oh, this is so funny. Is Kipper back, or I guess Bib?
I don't believe so.
Not so far. Well, could just take this opportunity. It's been a while since we've introduced our characters.
That is very true. I want to stick with the avocado, so you guys can introduce your characters. How about that? Who wants to go first? For the people who don't know or have not watched, what is going on right freaking now? Who wants to go first?
Well, I offered the idea, so I suppose I'll go first.
Okay, the music is
I
great.
am Dishonored.
Sorry.
Yes. I am Dishonored Ninja. I am playing Ambrose, who is an Earth Genasi fighter who has become the champion of Vithius and thus has some paladin levels to follow suit with that. And Ambrose has recently taken up the oath and has since kind of managed to do what is really his big goal in life was, which was giving rest to his mentor and father figure. And now is trying to focus on helping the party and figuring out whatever is going on in Porch Trail.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to, interrupt.
I guess I'm Dishonored Ninja, and all of my names is like that for every social media I have. Yeah.
I'm back. It didn't roll on me, did it?
No. We're introducing the characters.
Oh, okay.
That's your cue.
That's your cue, baby. What is your character? What do you do?
Unless you unironically need to think about it, in which case I guess I can go.
No, I don't have to think about it. Don't worry. I was being polite. I didn't want to take someone's place. Okay. Hi, I'm Kipper. I am Bip, and I play as a little Harengon. Used to be cleric, now is warlock, and I'm just a little bunny. I love my family, and I will kill you if you mess with my family. Also, I sound like a little lost Victorian child.
It's because you are one.
It's true.
Very nice. What are your socials so everybody can follow you?
Okay, my name on everything is lowercase it's, uppercase bip, literally on anything. If you type in it's bip in that exact way, on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, oh wow, okay, yeah, Greenie got it down. Greenie got it.
Such convenient.
Also, the ones who drew this lovely art of the characters that are like profile things for whatever that's called.
Yeah, for the reactives. Yeah, Bip also did the reactives that the players are doing right now.
I had a brainworm. I like drawing PNGs for people for some reason. It's a disease.
The disease.
It's
Very well. Who's next?
I suppose I'll go next. Hi, I'm Velosaurus Rex. It's Velosaurus_Rex. Just, I don't know. Look at the Twitch chat on the VOD if you want to spell it. And I play Rexmoa, a lizard folk monk who is the oldest of the party, affectionately known as Lizard Dad. And my current goal is to just, stop the world from ending and retire, as many people's goals are in this crazy thing we call life.
Especially the retirement.
Yeah, sometimes that feels like a monumentous task as well.
Oh, yes. Very nice, very nice. Is that it?
I was invisible in the last session. It was really fun. I should be invisible more often.
Yeah, we will get to the last session in a moment. But if that is it, then we have one last person.
Hello.
Yes, that is it for me.
Yes, my name's Court. My handle is Court's Garden. I am an artist gamer who likes to dabble in RPG games, mainly Final Fantasy, of course. I create comics for others, as well as working on a few passion projects, like Lunar Cry currently is one of them. For D&D, I play as Taurin, a Tabaxi druid who has a love for elves, plants, and turning into a giant bear on occasion. She is looking for her sister and has encountered an old flame named Dusan, who has double-crossed her in her past. Will they mend the past or go their own ways? I guess we'll find out. You can find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Webtoons.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And of course, I mean, you're already in my stream, but I am Avocado, the coffee cat. Right now, I'm an avocado, but I will switch in a moment. And yeah, let's roll a d4 while I switch my model over to see who has...
forget Granny.
Oh, of course, how could I forget? Our DNDJ, Greena's Venus, Greenie. She is also the one who is helping me write some of the dialogues of this campaign. And she does a great job. And she also plays the music that you guys are listening to right freaking now.
Greenie is writer and DJ.
Exactly. So, everybody go freaking show love to everybody. And as I said, somebody roll me a d4 and I'll switch my model right now. Whee.
Back to serious avocado.
We want to look at the avocado belly button.
Cry.
It's the origin point.
Numero cuatro.
Number 4. I feel like we're gonna go to the other side this time. Let's go, Taurin. Tell me.
There are no rules.
Oh, I am honored. All right. Well, okay. So at the start of last session, Kipper was following Selvin and the other hosts of the party, curious to their secretive behavior, and he managed to catch a glimpse of. Let's see. What did he catch a glimpse of? What are they? Oh, I that was extra. Never mind. Okay. So he's basically curious about what they were whispering about. So he does follow them up to like the 3rd floor. Meanwhile, Rexmoa was also on his way to the 3rd floor, stopping by seeing Selvin, Alabaster, and Aaron were the 3, I believe, if I got those right. They were all going up to the 3rd floor as well. So avoiding being seen, he was transparent. Well, not transparent. He was invisible. He was not seen by anything. So he goes up there unnoticed, trailing, and then also notices Kipper was trailing the other 3 who were heading up there. Taurin, she was managing to escape the supply closets and sneak out to hear some of the maids gossiping about Selvin, how he's kind of a creep and likes to visit more often to the manor every now and again. More frequently, it seems like. So I guess we'll have to figure out why that is happening. Why they're so frequent visits. Let's see. They were upstairs, both Rexmoa and Kipper. I think it was just Kipper eavesdropping at this point in time on the 3 nobles. And I think Rexmoa was just kind of like keeping an eye out behind him, or just kind of like, watching his back, basically. Let's see here. So what did they say? He was able to hear them say, one of them were saying, "I've gathered you here for this meeting because we need to discuss our duties. I presume everything the Saints have required, the Saints have required everything that needed of them, basically." Let's see. So it was like kind of conversation going on. I guess something's going on with like tanks and oil and lot of that items being transported to whatever project they're working on, so it's kind of a mystery in that at the moment. What else is there? Okay, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
There was mention of a factory underground where there was like a testing ground. So that I remember that much. And I guess there's also another mention of a possible creature that the Saves are trying to keep alive. So similar to like the weird I guess blue monsters that we're encountering earlier that the team almost kind of turned into without, when Borealis was able to get the cure for them. So something worse, it seems like, is underground. And then Taurin was also able to meet Dasan. So that was last session as well. They kind of had a little spat between, trying to figure out why she was there, and then she was trying to get him to like return the stolen bloom, but he already sold it. And then also made mention that her sister is also in the city somewhere. So that kind of ignited some anger inside of her after that encounter. And then... But however, the whereabouts of her sister is still unknown, so we didn't get a lot of information last session about that. And then after that, there was a warning to the party that they had to leave. I think it was Borealis who said that the team had to leave as soon as possible. Be discreet about leaving, of course. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all I remember at the moment. This is like my quick notes, anyways.
That is
But feel
pretty
free.
much. That's pretty much all what happened, really. You guys took your time to sneak inside and try and get some information. Some of you were able to witness a meeting with 3 of the noble houses of Forge Trail, while you, Taurin, went into another way and encountered your old acquaintance. You can already hear how things turned out. While at this point also, at the, not necessarily the other side of town, but the underground of the city, Ambrose and Rin were on an adventure of their own, trying to find some answers, and boy did they find answers. So, this brings us back to the party. Pretty much the end of the party, because as you mentioned, Borealis did tell everybody to leave discreetly, and that's what you guys did, obviously. As the ladies of the house that you were supposed to be the guards of were leaving this party, you also had to leave, as a little caravan of security, pretty much. So, you guys leave into the night in the upper district, and steadily, not as quickly as, you would have wanted, get back to the Trishul Manor. Obviously, trying to keep appearances, not going to run off and, cause a scene to get yourselves in a little bit of a, spotlight. So, you guys eventually get to the Trishul Manor, where Ambrose and Rin would obviously already be after their encounter in the sewers. And obviously, as soon as they enter the Trishul Manor, all of the subterfuge, all of the careful planning goes out the window as Borealis just sprints over to her laboratory. Saphir, her sister, obviously follows along, not as hastily, but still a little bit rushed, and Percy, Borealis's automaton and butler and personal guard, also follows along fast as well. You guys, I'm assuming, will also, go along with her. as obviously this seems to be quite a change of pace from what you were doing moments ago. And once you enter, of course, you would see Rin and Ambrose in this, I mean, the workshop of Borealis that you know already too well. They all look a little bit beat up. Ambrose a little bit less. Rin does look a little bit, you know, a little bit singed, a little bit charred, if you will. Ambrose a little bit less. But still, there is signs of an altercation. And of course, in one of the tables, there would be an almost completely damaged, yet still functioning automaton. And as Borealis arrives, she goes over and immediately gives Rin a hug. Like, you know, like a hug. As the two of them, this is one of the news that they were waiting for a while. And the shock of having their friend and companion back is quite big. So, you know, Borealis just runs in and give Rin a hug, lifting her up since obviously Borealis is very tall, and Rin is not so much. But Rin, obviously with tears in her eyes, would say he's there and point over at the table where Borealis, you know, let go of her, and as she mentioned that the robot on the table is him, Borealis just kind of gasps and covers her mouth and walks over to check out the automaton. As I said, the robot right now on the table is pretty much missing like all of its lower half and one arm. Right now, the robot is like a third of its torso, one functioning arm, and the head. You can see like the inner machinations of the inner works of this automaton. Obviously, you would be able to notice the canister of stratagem that, you know, would be now visible because of the lack of, I guess, parts all around him. And Borealis would move closer, and it starts to you know, like investigate and starts to look at the pieces and everything, and she goes, "Who did this to you?" To which the automaton does not respond, but you know, he is still staring and looking. Rin goes, "Can we fix him?" And Borealis just nods, and she goes, "I will. I can do this. Yes, of course I can do this. Well, we have to change the power source first, because this one is about to run out. But don't worry, I can do that safely. I will no longer have them using stratagem. I don't want anything to do with that. So we are going to change it to my own power source, the one that Percy uses." And she looks at the party and she goes, It's my own magic. I power the automatons in this house with my own magic." By this point, Zephyr would have also entered the lab and obviously would be like staring at the people all around, and she would say, "Well, now you know, my sister could have also become a great archmage, but her arcane prowess is more akin to machines." Rin would nod at Borealis and say, "We trust you." And she would give the robot on the table a pat on his head. And then the robot itself would kind of push itself up a little with its one remaining arm. And with his mechanical and like glitchy voice, it would look at Borealis and tell her, I don't want to be repaired. You can keep me alive, but please, I do not wish to be encased in this body. And Borealis nods and just kind of grabs him by the shoulder and gently like lays him back down on the table, and she goes, "Don't worry, we'll find a way to do this. I promise. But now, I'm going to need you to stay very still. You're going to be shut off for a moment. Oh God, son, I don't know how this works, but I will power you as soon as I can, and you will be back online. It would be just like closing your eyes, okay?" And the robot nods at this, and even Rin reassures him, saying, "Think of it as a nap." The robot, you guys see that doesn't say anything, but just kind of nods, and Borealis nods as well. She pulls up the sleeves of her very fancy dress that she's still wearing, of course, and grabs onto the canister of stratagem that it is, inside of the machinery. You can clearly see it. As I said, the robot is missing most of its body at this point. And she takes a deep, closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. And then just pulls the canister away. Immediately, the light of the robot starts flickering, and it shuts off entirely. And she leaves the canister to a side, and then starts reciting magic as she moves her hands in, obviously, a spell casting way. And she places her hands on top of the torso of the robot, and you can see that the glow on her hands starts to move from her hands into the robot itself, and it slowly starts to glow once more in this white light that Borealis machines have, rather than the blue light that stratagem gives. As the robot turns on again, it stays quiet for a moment, and then it just kind of turns its head and goes, "I couldn't feel a thing, but that is what happens now. I can't feel anything. But I am back." And you see Borealis just sigh, relieved that, shutting off the robot didn't do anything. And everybody just kind of even Rin and even Percy, even though he doesn't have to, he just kind of mimics the movement of sighing as he starts functioning once again. And then Borealis takes another very deep breath, and Rin is crying again, but she is wiping her tears as she says, "Stupid monkey, don't worry, we have your actual body." And Borealis also is shedding some tears, and she goes, Yeah, we haven't gotten rid of it. Don't worry, we will find a way to get you back. Just gonna have to hang tight and let us solve the problem. You are in no shape for fighting now. The robot on the table just kind of nods in agreement and just keeps himself laying down. There's nothing it can do, really. And then Rin would turn over to look at Ambrose, and she would say, "Rock Boy, the papers you got. Do you want to show her?"
I'll walk over to Borealis. I'm already holding onto the scroll. I've been looking at it until House Trishul and the party had walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of walking over, I'll kind of like just hand over the scroll that I received from the counselor, and I'll say, I don't know what this is, but the counselor gave it to me directly.
And she would obviously take the scroll and go, wait, the counselor? The counselor was there with you?
The counselor was grabbing a bunch of documents, and he requested that we let the Shadow Druids go.
I will check this out. Oh goodness, this is just getting all more convoluted as things goes on. And she turns over to the rest of the party and she goes, were you able to catch something in the party? I saw you were sneaking out. So did anything caught your eye?
Yes, and we should actually act on it right now. Ish.
Oh.
You're gonna get an unexpected visitor sometime soon from the Saints. Presumably it would be the counselor in question, and you should hide any research that you have going on about the basically anything that we've gotten into. The Sunsticks, the cure for the current pandemic going on, them, gestures towards the one-armed robot. And we should definitely do it sooner than later. I'm afraid that you're definitely going to be targeted in these next few days, you and Zephyr, and your house. They don't really like that you're not playing along with them.
Rin would also say, they were clearing the damn place, like, hiding shit. You guys scared him, I think. And Borealis, hearing all of this, she goes, I should have expected this. Don't worry, I will deal with those things when time comes. For now, I think we should just gather all the information that we have, and well, let's figure out where to go next. I think that is the idea here. And Borealis would open up the paper and start like inspecting it as you know. And Zephyr goes as you guys were, as Borealis is kind of, you know, reading the schematics that were handed to her. Zephyr goes, well, you're not the greatest at stealth. I assume you did the right thing. There was not any big commotions. And, well, it seems that the party went along undetected. Although I did notice that the nobles left for a moment. Were you able to catch where they went, or any sort of whereabouts on them?
Yes, they were all convening on the 3rd floor in, what's his name's? The Shadow Druid's office, which is where I learned all this information. I don't really know if now's the time to be revealing everything, but it's definitely, well, worth a breakdown when we all have the chance to ingest it.
Well, I think now it's a good as time as ever. If we are going to get visited by the counselor, we may not have another chance to speak in a little bit.
Indeed. Well, aside from the business regarding your house, ladies, it seems that they're collaborating with the Saints on something. The important bits that I overheard is that they are gathering a lot of stratagem, not just cells like you all have in this workshop, but literal tanks of the stuff. Whatever they're planning on powering with that, it must be a device that takes a significant amount of energy. And in addition to that, they seem to be well aware that there is another creature of sorts down in the sewers, similar to the one that we fought in the lower district. And, well, I think one of the most important revelations that I got coming out of it was, well, they're not all getting along. It seems like there's some kind of schism between Dusan, Selvin Thrail, and the other noble that was there. They didn't seem too trusting of Dusan, much to his anger. He ended up storming out of the meeting.
It kind of seemed like they were, I don't know. I mean, it seems like a typical noble thing to put people down, and that is definitely what they were doing with Dusan. He wasn't necessarily the popular man of the hour. It almost seems like to them he's more of the errand boy.
Yes, and I think Dusan thinks similarly. He's not very happy with his standing, even as a noble house.
And Saphir looks a little puzzled about what you guys are saying. So she goes, tanks of stratagem. That must be a very, very powerful machine if they're gathering so much energy. I wonder if, and Borealis just kind of interjects as she is like finishing her sentence. She goes, oh yeah, very, very big. And she sets down the schematic a little bit further away from the, damaged robot. And she points out a few things, and they go, well, if this is correct, this machine is able to generate stratagem, but how can I put this? And she looks a little puzzled about what she's reading. Obviously, all of you can see the schematics. You guys can read what it says, but it is very much technological lingo that if you don't know what you're dealing with, you would probably not understand. And after a brief moment of silence of her just like reading and reading and reading, she says, well, it's a device that it extracts the energy of a person, as it says here, and she points out at a part of the schematic, and she goes, they're arcane energy, of course, and they managed to synthesize that into stratagem. And she looks over at the tank that she pulled off of the robot that is just has a tiny little bit of stratagem. And she goes, are they planning on using this? And to that, like, Rin interjects, and she says, that isn't what happened to Echoes, though. No? I mean, he never had any magic. And Echoes, the robot, shakes his head and goes, no. I was hit by something different. I remember. I saw it for a moment, then everything went dark. And I was here. And she goes, but isn't it a little bit counterproductive to want that much energy to power up a thing that creates energy? I feel like that's a flaw in their design. No, that can't be. Shadow Druids, they're very good at building things. I don't think they would make a flawed design like that. And Saphir chimes in and she goes, well, whatever it is, now we know that we are dealing with something incredibly dangerous, especially for us, the spellcasters. I sure hope that the visit of the counselor is not with those kinds of intentions. I can only imagine how much energy they could extract from someone like me or my sister.
If it is just the counselor, I think it will go better than we expect.
What
And
makes you so sure?
Every time that we've seen the counselor, he's acted strangely. If the counselor was truly with the saints, we would have immediately been targets.
So do you think the council is trying to double-cross them in some way? I mean, well, the Saints are definitely not good people, but I doubt that the machine that they specifically built for their own purposes is trying to rebel against them.
It depends. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
She goes, looking at Percy this time. That would be as if Percy would try to, ruin this whole operation for us and, tell the Saints about what we were doing. And Percy responds and goes, I will never do that. I am programmed to follow Borealis's orders, and I am your ally. I would not compromise your operation in any way, shape, or form. And
that.
Jimmy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, keep going.
No, okay. That would only apply if the counselor was made in the same way that he was made, but I'm getting the feeling that the counselor might be something more similar to Echoes. What if it's someone that willingly chose that? What if it could have been someone who was dying, that they gave a second chance, or someone they felt was loyal to them, or if there's some way to bend someone to your will and put them inside of one of those things. We don't... It all depends on who is inside of that automaton, essentially. I guess that would help us to understand why the council is acting this way.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go. You go first.
Okay. What if the counselor is a saint?
To that, Borealis just kind of looks puzzled as she's still staring at the paper, but like listening to the conversation in the meantime, and she goes, "That is unlikely. Well, we've seen the saints. Yeah, sure. Two of them are now gone, but well, how could that have happened in such a short time? I feel like there's a lot of things that are not adding up. Besides, and she gestures over at Echoes on the table, and she goes, besides, how is it that the machine that, well, is Echoes now, is that a machine, and his body, and she gestures over at the room where the body is, stored. Well, his body is full, complete. There's no, anything extracted. His brain is still there. This is very difficult.
I have a separate question. When did the last two saints pass away? I know probably the first one is inconsequential considering they probably passed away earlier, but could you give me a roundabout?
No, well, it was a few years ago. I don't remember the specifics, but, well, they seemed to be fine until, well, ever since the whole stratagem discovery started, which, what a discovery this is, and she just tosses the schematic onto the table, and she goes, ever since this, I mean, the saints were there, and they were fighting some conflicts, and then, well, in one of those, two of them, well, died, and, well, we didn't know anything about them. Of course, there was a memorial, and all the kingdom was, sad.
Did they see, was it like, what kind of funeral was it? I mean, that's not important. Were their bodies recovered for burial? I guess I would say.
Yes, they were. They,
Oh.
we did see the coffins.
The inside or the outside?
Well, as much as we could from the inside, you may understand that this was kind of a royal ceremony.
Yeah. There is. Oh, I'll defer to you.
Okay. We do have Echoes, who at first glance is also dead.
Do you think, considering that automatons came into existence a good amount of time before the saints passed away, do you think that the saints would let them pass away? I mean, unless they had their own agenda that the other two saints didn't agree with, but somehow I don't fully believe that would be the case for both. I guess I'm just saying it is a possibility to keep in mind that what Ambrose said, the counselor could be, one of the so-called past saints. Or someone in that high echelon, I guess.
I asked him if he was John or Olivia, and he stayed silent.
Well, if that is the case, then that means that... well, the implications are many, but I want to understand how they managed to get the consciousness of somebody into a machine. I fail to understand how that would be possible. But I guess if your whole purpose is to build better and better machines, I don't know, eventually? This is all very confusing.
Yeah, it's something where it doesn't necessarily make sense, and yet here Echoes is in front of us, which I am so glad that you were able to be found after all of this time.
And Echoes just kind of gives you a nod from the table.
And this time, Taurin will put her hands up to her face. Her pulse is quickening just a little bit, a little anxious. Not feeling really good at all this being said, of course. And then she would say, "We need to find out where they're keeping the kids they took. I did speak to Dusan. He made mention my sister is here in the city. I need to know where she is. Get her and anyone else they took out of here before anybody else is a victim of this."
Sophia would also chime in and say, "Oh yeah, that is very true. The kids that you sent to the academy, didn't you say that they were in the orphanage as well, right? Well, they are not particularly well versed in magic. But could it be? Maybe they were... And she looks thoughtful at this, and he looks at you, Ambrose. Do you remember what kind of kids they were taking?"
I'll go ahead and think back. So the kids that were in the orphanage, the ones that we witnessed at least, were... We saw the ones that were the victims of the hags, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that Mother Superior was trying to find a kid that had a high amount of magic, but he had no control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I'm missing?
Why don't you give me a history check?
History.
Hang on.
19.
I was gonna give you advantage because it was
Nice.
from Strail, but that's fine.
definitely.
I don't think you need that. Ambrose, yes, you are correct. If you recall correctly, by the time that you had your pretty much your first encounter with Mother Superior was in the situation that one of the kids who had magic and was using it to escape was trying to run away from them. Of course, eventually the kid got away, luckily, thanks to you guys. But she retreated. And, of course, if you remember in the ledger that Mother Superior had, she was talking about giving some kids away to the Shadow Druids. And if you recall, on the letter that Mother Superior was writing before the whole hag incident, you recall that she did mention that she was, in fact, giving the innate magic users to the Shadow Druids. And Rin would ask, "Didn't you save that little mage boy that was running away?"
kind
Boy.
of thinking back on it and wondering for a moment. It's kind of like as I start to think about it more, the energy lines along my skin start to kind of like pulse angrily, and I'll say, the first time we saw Mother Evelyn, she was trying to chase after the boy that Rin speaks of. He had a lot of mana for being so young. The other children that we couldn't find at the orphanage, Evelyn had given to the Shadow Druids. To my understanding, the ones that were had more affinity with magic and the arcane.
This in terms of this new revelation about the stratagems. This doesn't paint a good picture for the fate of those children.
And Borealis would like interrupt again, and she goes, that unfortunately that does make sense. An innate spellcaster is, well, usually a lot stronger in terms of the arcane than a learned spellcaster. And Saphir would add to this, and she goes, that is usually why the more innate spellcasters tend to have more wild magic around them. They cannot control it because it's too much. And, well, until they are trained, expect some side effects. Rather than, the learned ones who start from zero and grow up to be, well, spellcasters. And Borealis nods and goes, if this is correct, then, well, I think we may know what kind of fuel they're using now.
Dusant sounds like their trade dealer. Like he would have a ledger or something, maybe, knowing where everything's going. Maybe even a checkbook of those being used for whatever they're doing down there.
I will remind you, that would have been the thing that you found in the orphanage. That's kind of like what they said they were going for.
Yeah.
Which I believe Borealis actually has currently.
Correct, yes. You did give that to Borealis.
Yeah.
Sickening. And to think I spared the Shadow Druids per the Councilor's request. How could he request that I let children traffickers go free?
And Borealis goes, now, wait, let's just calm down for a moment. I definitely am not an advocate for murder, and of course, I cannot deny that these people deserve all the murder, but, I will say, if you think the Counselor has a reason for it, then, well, I think we should play along. Yes, I understand this defies all morals and all good things, but, well, this might be part of a bigger plan. And Rin would glance over at Ambrose and she says, leave that. We can take care of them after. It was important to bring echoes here.
As much as it pains me to say, I agree with Lady Borealis. We have to cut down this terrible, terrible weed at its root. and not allow it to fester any longer. If we spend all our time chasing, well, shadows and their misdeeds, we'll never get around to taking care of what their actual goal is.
I know. The idea just sickens me. It is why I let the counselor walk away.
And Borealis looks over at the machine and she goes, well, as far as I can tell from the schematics, they do need the person, so maybe the kids are still there somewhere? You said they were cleaning up all of this. Perhaps this was like their testing lab and we have to find the proper laboratory?
There were hundreds of scrapped automatons down there. The counselor was there with 4 shadow druids, getting rid of the evidence.
Thousands of them? And she looks over at that ghost and she goes, you don't think that maybe they're, or well, were people as well?
I'm not sure if all of them were, but I'm certain some were.
And to this echoes that is just listening, just kind of looking around. He goes, some of them were. I could hear it in their voices. They were not the same as any common robot. I could feel the pain. And Borealis goes, oh my gods. This is even worse than I thought. And now this counselor is coming here. The disease is still rampant below the sewers, and the Saints are building something big. And they just got all the fuel they needed and the tanks to power it. And she stays quiet for a moment. And then she turns around to face everybody and she says, well, I don't think this is time to focus on the negative. I think this is time for action. And I think what we should do is to beat the Saints at their game. You see, this is like a big chessboard, and the Saints have already thinking about their next move, but what they don't know, or well, I'm hoping they don't know, is all the information that we have right now. So what we have to do is just anticipate that move and act first. I think that would be the best course of action. And she looks around at the party and goes, all right, what is the one issue that the Saints need to solve first? Let's see if we can tackle that one.
This feels like we're in a classroom. Well, could try sabotaging their supply lines. I mean, they already had that delivery of a stratagem, but surely they'll need more parts and bits and bobs from the factory and the automaton facilities.
That is not a bad idea. However, that will put us in the public eye. More than we are already, of course. And Rin says we could try and find out where those stratagems are headed. And Borealis says, I have a faint idea that it's probably at the command tower. I mean, the stratagems that big, I don't think they could be headed anywhere with clearance for everybody. And, well, we know that the command tower is very secure. And
Yes.
Saphir says, you did mention the Saints were trying to rush their little project, right? How about we help them? And she says this with a little bit of a malicious grin. And Borealis just kind of looks at her a little confused. And she snaps her finger as she understands. And she goes, oh, right. You mentioned the creature in the sewers, right? The Saints were trying to build a project for that, correct?
Yes, presumably. I assume that they wanted to attempt to use it to control all infected at some point, if they were to have their wish.
Right. So, how about we deal with them? The Saints will have nothing to deal with, and, well, whatever they were trying to do is not going to be worthless anymore. Plus, if we beat them to it, we can use this as a leverage for your status as heroes to grow even more.
I like leverage.
So is the idea here that we destroy this thing?
Yes, that
the
will...
goopy thing?
What's that, sorry?
The goopy? Are we talking about the thing in the underground?
Correct. However, that may take a few more sunbums. Maybe I can work something out. Percy, do you think we could make a bigger model? And Percy goes, if my calculations are correct, with the right frame and the right amount of parts, we could build a bigger one. As a matter of fact, this one may be more stable. And she goes, yes. Okay, this is a start. However, there's still a lot of things at play. We still have to figure out where the kids are. And of course, what is this machine that the Saints are building?
Maybe the machine has to do with the creature.
Perhaps, although I find it hard to believe that they could weaponize a creature like that if it just searches for, well, living matter. It eventually is going to turn against them, and of course the sickness is not something that they could handle. After all, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I believe I am the one who invented the cure for this thing. It's still a prototype, of course, but it works. Does it work? Have you noticed any irregular side effects on you?
I haven't noticed anything for me personally, and being the medic, I haven't seen any symptoms appear on the others since then. Unless I'm really bad at my job.
Taurin seems fine, and she was the closest.
Right. Well, if that is the case, then we can probably work on something to get rid of this plague once and for all, and get the heroes of Port Trail to be the face of that. If whatever they're trying to do, whatever machine they're trying to build, is for the purpose of defeating this thing in the underground, I think they will not be pleased if we take away their moment of fame. Rin would raise a hand and she goes, I could try scouting out the command center, see if there's a way to get in and out. And Borealis goes, I don't want you doing that. That is very dangerous. And, well, if the counselor's coming in soon, I'm going to need backup just in case things get ugly.
I still think that the counselor may at least be somewhat on our side. I think he is a victim of this just as much as Echoes was. I felt my oath shake when I was willing to leave him to the infected. I think that was Vithius telling me that the counselor is not fully with the Saints.
Well, I definitely trust the judgment of one of the four gods, so I think we're going to be alright. But of course, there is nothing wrong with taking precautions. And Saphir chimes in and goes, I will do some more research and see if I can find something else about, well, what is going on around here. Maybe talk to some people around the lower city, see if there is not another outbreak of this disease. And if in case there is, well, we're going to be needing some production of your sun bombs, and of course some of that serum, just in case there were more infected, she says to Borealis. And she goes, oh, yes, right away. Percy, would you mind telling our lovely assistants to start the production of more sun bombs, and we will work on a prototype to making a larger one. And, oh, yes, and please, to start also synthesizing more of the antidote, into some more portable forms, just in case. And Percy just kind of nods and gives everybody a bow and just kind of goes over to talk to the rest of the robots. And Borealis, she looks over at the party once again, and she goes, there is a start here. I will also try to keep a low profile, but try and see what I can learn from things. Is there anything else that you may have missed? Any sort of information works. Of course, it's not to say that I don't trust you and what you told me, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and there is nothing left out.
Taurin, did you learn anything? I was with Kipper most of the time, but I didn't really spy what you were up to.
Didn't really find much, other than a few maids talking about Selvin, it seems like. Guess he's been visiting the manor more frequently. But I guess that makes sense, since they're all buddies, you know?
Hmm.
And then, well, I unfortunately was spotted by, I guess he goes by Aaron now, huh?
You are you talking about Dusan?
Dusan, yes.
He found you?
Or
And
did you find him?
did he not tell anyone?
I tried to hide, but I wasn't quick enough, unfortunately. But he was so unbothered by not wanting to call the guard. He was overconfident, bored. He has so much money and so much power now. He just wants the chase to see what we're going to do next, it seems like. So
What we're gonna do next?
I have a feeling he might be waiting to see what we do, or having a plan for us or something. It was a strange feeling talking to him.
I mean, that sounds like your typical jaded noble. Once you have everything, suddenly you start going to strange means to get your excitement.
Previous descriptions of Dusan did make him seem to be a bit more lackadaisy.
He got what he wanted,
Yeah.
so he doesn't care.
Just keep in mind, Taurin, he is complicit in the disappearance of all of those children. I know you already hate him. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Rin says you should totally kick his ass.
Plan to.
Certainly deserves it.
Well, I'm excited to break in some nobles' teeth when we're allowed to.
Do you see a potential ally in him? Or at the very least, do you think we could drive a wedge between him and the other nobles? We don't need him to be our friend, just, well, perhaps be Thrail's enemy.
And we take advantage of him.
We could.
We could give him the soft end of the stick. He goes to jail and the others get beaten and then go to jail.
We'd have to have a nice, sweet deal for him to really want to work with us. That's just how he is.
He has con artist vibes where we have to be very convincing with whatever we decide.
Something good, something better than what he has now. What could that be? The stones?
For
said it yourself.
someone like him, it might be simpler than you think.
Yeah, I agree.
Rin also adds, right now he has all the power and money he needs.
Yes, but when he was talking to Taurin, he doesn't seem content with that. He wants more. He
Yeah.
wants, well, thrill, trouble, which maybe, well, presumably I've been told that we're no strangers to such things. If he, well, senses the opportunity to perhaps take power from his other nobles, we could make use of that. After all, greed is endless and never satisfied.
Give him more power. Or promise to. He might even take that.
Well, honestly, that is somewhere to go with potentially. just seems like he doesn't know what he wants, and he's going through the motions. He seems like someone who's deadened inside, and he's just continuing in spite
Well,
of everyone.
I did mention to Ambrose a little earlier. I wasn't sure how everyone was going to take it, though. But I did manage to cast a spell on him, so he won't be calling for help anytime soon. We could
Like you-
try to talk to him.
Like you charmed him?
Exactly. Like a curse in a way. It's a better way of putting it. If he doesn't do
alright.
what he's supposed to do,
Is
He
that
hurts
a better
himself.
way of putting it?
Can't call for help. Could use this.
Hmm.
but it could be a trap too.
Yeah,
He likes to think ahead.
as you guys are planning this, you glance over at the sisters and you see Saphir looks a little bit horrified at what she's listening, while Borealis has a very big smile.
What we're very good at doing, taking advantage of people around us.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you all want to contribute to the conversation, perhaps?
And Saphir goes,
More ideas.
"Oh, no, thank you. I'm good." And Borealis says, "Oh, you remind me so much of when I was a bit of an adventurer myself. Well, of course, I didn't do all those things, but I did contribute to them."
Is there a single house that we don't hate other than you guys? Is there like a house that you guys are kind of like indifferent about versus? Because so far it seems like all the other houses have their hands deep in this.
Well, I mean, if all the other houses are in this, then there is a very big probability that none of them are willing to help. And if your friend, Dusan, is, well, not really wanting to give us away, it sounds to me like... And she looks over to you, Taurin, and she goes, "Did he seem apologetic in some way, or regretful?"
No, not the slightest.
Hmm.
At least, not in that moment.
I figured. Then, I guess I'm thinking he's just wanting mutually assured destruction. Trust me, I've met a couple of people like that, and usually that's just what they're looking for.
Well, we could... Who would we send to potentially recruit him where it doesn't seem strange? I think the least strange. I don't want to put you in this position, Taurin, but you do have a history with him where it wouldn't be as suspicious if you went to. But also I wouldn't, if you don't want to do that entirely, feel free. I could go with you if you needed. Unless we just want to put that on the back burner for now and go for the big goop thing in the darkness.
I mean, we'll have to face him eventually anyways, right?
Yeah.
See if he can at least help, if he is so bored.
Or at the very least, not take a side. if we
Be
can't get
neutral.
him to directly help.
Hmm.
Honestly, what does he have to lose from doing nothing? Potentially he could gain. Could he really gain more power? You know what? I'll leave this as a conversation point for him. I'm thinking of
could.
ways. Yeah, I'm thinking of ways to convince him. Yeah.
We gotta find out what he wants first.
I
Did
think
you-
that'll reveal itself to us in a conversation.
Did you find out if he still has that plant?
Unfortunately, he told me that he sold it to the Shadow Druids.
Of course.
Wait, and Borealis just interrupts and she says, the Shadow Druids have a restoration bloom.
Exactly.
Oh
Why wouldn't
boy.
they?
Do you
So
know
he doesn't
something?
really care.
Well, like any good alchemist would tell you, the restoration bloom has insane healing capabilities. Of course, it doesn't save you from death itself, but let's just say that consuming a single leaf of this plant could grant you several hundreds of years of life. Now, hypothetically, if they were to do something with the whole plant, I think you understand where I'm going from.
And in the hands of a Shadow Druid, they could have a reverse effect as well. Whoever can imagine what those could be, you know.
That could. Are they planning to have like a shadowy empire controlling the world for all of eternity? That's kind of what it's sounding like right now.
That could be the case. However, have you heard anything of them trying to rebel against the Saints?
I don't. Well, not me. I'll leave it to the others.
The Saints are funding them, and Sylvan Thrale himself said that it was thanks to the Saints' generosity they were able to make the Counselor.
Then I don't think they may try to take over. If something, I feel like they just are fine the way they are. I don't know. We have to think this over. In the meantime, I will keep my assistants working, and I will definitely be able to do some more things. And Saphir would nod, and she goes, I also have to return to the academy in the morning, of course, for my duties, but I do think that this is something that we have to be really careful of. At this point, we can only trust ourselves. So, we should be mindful about what we do. Rin raises her hands and she goes, and also, going back to this Dusan, I don't think we need any other noble house to know what the hells we're trying to do, spell or not. And Saphir nods at Rin, and she goes, that is correct. The least people know about this, the better. And we should try and keep it this way. If the Counselor and the Saints are going to start investigating us, well, we don't want a lot more than what we must show to be revealed.
You have a point.
So, from this point, what is our plan? Like, what are we doing now and then next? Are we going to confront Dusan, or are we going to confront the creature in the slums. Not the slums, the goopy place. You know, what are they? The tubes?
The underground.
Yes.
The sewers.
Sure.
And Borealis goes, well,
That's in character, by the way.
and Borealis goes, well, the first course of action right now is for you to rest. It is, after all, kind of late. And we need you all in your best shapes and your mind clear to see where we can go from this, all right? And Saphir goes, that is true. On that note, I bid you all farewell. And she waves her hand, and next to her a portal opens, and she just gives everybody a bow and steps through. And the portal closes after her.
Rest does sound good.
Can you do that?
What, who, me?
Yeah, Lady Borealis.
Well, not quite. As my sister explained, my magics is more about technology. Rather than, flashy spells. I can do this, though, and she pulls her hand in her pocket. She doesn't grab anything, but she recites an incantation, and she moves her hand away, and you see, like, a little cloud of, like, sparkles just kind of float on top of everybody.
Whoa.
Yay!
Wonder if I could do that one sometime.
Yeah, with the right preparation, of course.
It is thanks to Borealis that encounter with May went so well.
Does this stuff give you mesothelioma?
I hope not.
Okay.
And she goes, well, my rooms are available if you need to rest. I will stay here for a moment, at least until I have everything sorted out, and, I'll be resting myself. We need to be sharp and focused for what it is to come.
Taurin would ask Kipper, what is mesothelioma? What? How is that said?
It's like a form of cancer that comes from fine powders. Like,
Oh,
there's multiple different types of chalk in the world, and some of them are bad for you.
How dreadful.
Chalk
noted.
that kills you. It's yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
live in a strange time.
That's terrifying.
Anyway, what's the wood elf for today?
We can rest upon it.
That's a weird wood elf.
I should say one more thing. I did mention to the counselor that I am a paladin of Vithius.
Mm.
Hey.
Well, that may complicate things. It's fine. It's alright. Right now, we are stressed. There's a lot in our plates, so let's take one thing at a time. Focus, and then we can think properly after we've had good night's rest.
Taurin will stretch. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Start heading out.
Yay. Okay. Sounds good.
Alrighty. And with that, like, Borealis just kind of continues around her lab, just going around, like, telling little robots what to do. And let's see. For you guys, are you guys gonna be going to the rooms?
Yeah. I think Rexmoa is just gonna take the room where he carved the sigil into the floor. So at the very least, no one else will detect it.
Okay.
Well, like, I'm assuming, like, the kids are still running around.
Oh no,
probably
the kids were gone
They're
already.
at school.
They're at the academy now.
They're at school. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's very good. Okay. If they were still here, Kipper would, like, I don't know, play a ball game or something with them and then go to bed.
A ball game.
A ball.
Like just generic ball, or like, you know, when you see like House on the Prairie, they have like this weird stick circle and another stick, and they whack the stick down the hill with the other stick. I don't know.
Whack a stick.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do understand.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so everybody's going into their separate rooms, correct?
Yes.
The first thing I'll do is I'll go to Viren's grave and meditate for a little bit, but then after that I will.
Okay. Yeah, as you meditate, you can feel the stone gently like radiate this like warm embrace as you're, doing that.
Kipper's probably. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You're still doing the thing.
No, you're fine.
Oh no, I'm just going there and just kind of like silently meditating in front of the gravestone. I'm not doing anything specific.
Okay, Kipper takes the blanket off of his bed with like a pillow, and it's like the blanket is like wrapped around him, kind of like a cloak. He's walking through the hallway. It's like dragging through the hallway.
Okay.
And then he just kind of he's pushing towards Ambrose's room because yeah, Kipper doesn't like being alone.
Alright, so are you guys sharing rooms or?
I mean,
I
I'll be
don't
returning to my
know.
room.
You will be returning to your room, and you're just gonna see like an ominous figure in a cloak, and then I turn around, and it's just Kipper in a blanket cloak.
Little rabbit man.
It's just a little rabbit man. It's either you or Rexmoa, and last time I did that to Rexmoa, I started coughing up smoke.
True.
It seems to happen a lot when you bed with Rexmoa.
What?
Whoa.
Whoa!
Dad, he's my grandpa.
It's like the third time I've said something inappropriate.
cigar,
It sounds
kid.
like one of the party members. Anyway, yes, I will return to my room after. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit. I will be meditating in front of Viren's grave for probably like 30 minutes around, and then return to my room. And, getting to the door, obviously, noticing there is a suspiciously shaped, bunny-shaped cloak.
A Kipper-shaped cloak.
I will kind of, quietly open the door, and I will just kind of like stare at you and wait for you to walk in.
Kipper is just making unbreaking eye contact, like completely stoic face, just walking into the room.
Okay. So it would be Kipper and Ambrose. Rexmoa is gonna have his own room, and Taurin, I'm assuming, is gonna have her own room as well.
She'll have her own room. She probably would grab a book to like help her ease her mind into slumber. It's a, intense day.
Yeah, good. Anything specific? Or just like random?
I guess something about the sea. Maybe learning more about eels. That'd be good.
Interesting.
They're delicious smoked.
Ixis wouldn't like
Apparently.
that, but okay.
I ate eel onigiri today.
I
It
think
was
that
very-
eel is gonna be a little bit too big to eat.
It's a lot of eel.
You don't
We're like a
know me.
lamprey. We bite onto the flesh and just stay there for a few days.
You don't know me.
Alright. So, if you guys are not doing anything as you guys are taking your sleep,
Well, I was just gonna resummon the bird. We don't have to go into detail.
oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Resummon
I'm
the
just
bird.
gonna do my standard nightly things, write in my journal, take care of my sword for a few moments. So unless Kipper strikes up a conversation with me, I have nothing.
Hmm.
Okay.
We need to start thinking about things that Kipper and Ambrose talk to each other about that isn't trauma.
Flowers.
Flowers.
I mean, Ambrose did previously mention he wants you to teach him how to cook.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess Kipper's gonna look in his bag and be like, I still have flour if you want to make pancakes in the morning. Not by yourself, because that's you might flip it too early and then you get a whole splot thing.
Well, if we aren't interrupted by a certain automaton.
Also, remind me to make sure to separate the regular salts from the smelling salts. Because I think
jeez.
that kills you when you eat them. And
Why
they're in the same bottles.
Why would you have
Jesus.
them in the same bag?
Because I only have one bag.
It has different pockets.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. And then Kipper opens a bottle and sniffs the regular salt, like, that one doesn't necessarily smell. And then he opens the smelling salt one and gives it a whiff, and then he's just like, oh!
Oh, jeez. Remember, these have limited uses, so are you going to waste one of those uses?
I'm not wasting the use, but he did smell them.
So you do waste one of
That's
the
you- that's
uses.
you
Got
again.
it.
No, not like hard whiff, just
Well, it's like as you open it, I think is when it's being used.
Correct. If you open it, like the thing happens.
Yeah, think about like evaporating water, essentially.
Exactly.
Dang. Well, I didn't know that.
Alright, so you have one use left. I believe I told you guys it had 3 uses.
I have 2 uses then.
Uh-huh.
I haven't used
Make
it
sure to
before.
note those, yes.
Okay.
I think they do actually degrade as you.
They
open
do.
them.
They really do, but that's if you leave them open.
They sublimate.
Exactly.
So, Kipper is separating the salts, and he's now breathing funny.
Correct. I want you to give me a Constitution save for that, Mr. Kipper.
Oh no. Constitution save.
Ooh, all right.
That makes sense.
Oh boy.
As you take a big whiff, your eyes start to
Conversation's
burn.
over.
Your eyes start to burn, and your nostrils start to burn, and you start like your eyes start crying immediately as you start coughing and sneezing. Kipper, you will have disadvantage on rolls that require your sight and your smell. Until you know.
Tomorrow? Until I wake up?
Pretty much, because you are about to rest, so you know. But for now, you are like coughing and sneezing and crying and all
So
of
if
that.
I have to fight someone in the nighttime, I'm already in like Ambrose's room. I'll just make him do it for me.
Correct.
Yeah.
I am just staring at you, very dumbfounded, and I kind of like just slowly bring my hand to my face and just kind of slowly wipe it down and stare at you for several seconds. You Alright, Kip.
What is this? Why does it smell like that? I thought it was gonna smell like flowers or something.
I'm not sure why you would have thought that. I'll just kind of like move towards him, and I was probably like, you know, messing with my sword still as we were having this small conversation. I'll just set the sword aside, and I'll just kind of like lightly tap on your head with my hand.
I'm smart some of the times.
Maybe don't smell that before bed.
I don't think I should smell it ever.
And I'll kind of like give a couple my last couple of points of my Mother Earth's touch.
All right. Yeah. How many do you have? Just
5.
so yeah. Okay. Kipper, you would feel a little bit more revitalized after this happens. Slowly, the burn of your, nostrils and eyes would start to decrease after he did this to you.
Okay. That's better. Thank you.
A blessing from Vithius. Consider this a lesson to separate your souls.
Do you think Vithius facepalmed too?
I would look at you, open my mouth for a few seconds, and then just sigh and say, I don't think she can.
Kipper's like giving you like a devious smile. It's very obviously a bad joke.
If someone else is watching us, I feel she might.
Man, if Perrin was still watching you, yeah, forget that guy.
All right. So, you guys are going to go and sleep, correct?
Yes.
All right. So everybody will get the benefits of a long rest. Make sure to return all your resources back to full. And let's see. Thinking. All right. So, as the night goes on, all of you close your eyes and go to sleep. You guys have a pleasant night's rest. However, Kipper,
Dang!
you close your eyes and start getting comfortable to sleep. And in the middle of the night, you open your eyes. You notice that you are still in the room in the manor of Borealis. You look around and you see everything is as normal. However, once you glance up to the ceiling, you can see that the ceiling is abnormally tall. Like, it goes on for very long.
Is Ambrose there? Can I see him?
You are alone.
Okay. Red flag number 2.
However, as I said, you are in the same room, at the very least.
Yeah, Kipper is definitely gonna call out to Ambrose. But he's also gonna get out of bed and kind of inspect
So,
what's going on.
Kipper, as you call out to Ambrose, you hear your voice echoing through the empty room. Obviously, it is a very empty place, so your voice kind of echoes, but nothing comes out of this. And when you try to move, you feel your body heavy. You cannot really move. You can move your head, you can kind of like flip yourself over a little bit, not like entirely, but you cannot leave the bed. You are still laying down.
Oh.
And as you lay down on your back once again and look up, you will see the figure of a spider climbing down from a web from this very, very long ceiling, slowly and methodically making its way down on top of you. Like, very, very slow. You can see it climbing down.
You can tell, like, what was once concern for Ambrose not being there and the room being strange immediately just deadens as Kipper realizes it's a dream again and he's just unfeeling mode. I don't know why I'm even surprised anymore.
And Kipper, your head kind of hurts for a brief second as you feel a little bit of dizziness, and in your head you feel like you hear in your head, "It is not meant to be a surprise," as the spider keeps climbing down. Now the spider is getting closer and closer, and you can see it's obviously who you think it is. It is Catsius, the Titan of the Fire. And now you can notice its features getting more prominent. You know, the flashy fire that is making this spider. Even the web itself, it's starting to like glow as if it was fiery. It still keeps getting closer and closer to you, but as you say, the ceiling is incredibly long, so it's like slowly descending.
What size is this spider? Is it Catsius size or is it regular spider size?
As it keeps getting closer, you notice that, yes, it is Catsius size. Like, the illusion of the very tall ceiling would make it seem as if it was a very small spider, just kind of crawling down on top of you. But as it keeps getting closer and closer and closer, you can see, like, oh god, this is the big one. The actual size.
So, I'm assuming you've come to have a proper conversation.
Of course.
Did it take you all this time to learn how? Or were you just playing with me before?
I don't have to learn. I already know. As, you know, it keeps getting closer and closer, you start feeling a little bit of the heat that emanates from the fiery spider. As, you know, the size is getting more and more prominent to the point where you start feeling very small compared to this thing.
I would ask you what it is you want from me, but I think the answer is pretty simple, so I guess I should just ask questions myself, as I always do.
Oh, do tell. What is it I want from you?
You are the embodiment of fire. Is it not that you want to burn?
You hear what sounds like a laugh. But not coming from your mind, like the voice in your head, but from like the actual spider, like a weird, distorted laugh. And it goes, always the feeble-minded, blaming fire for all their troubles.
Do not think that insults will get you anywhere with me emotionally. I will not pretend that fire has not done great things for civilization. I also don't think that you are wanting to get rid of everything, but if you stop burning, I assume that isn't quite a good thing. So cut with the feeble-minded mortal routine. Have you destroyed this world with the Titans before?
As you say this, the spider gets closer and closer until it's like right above the bed. And you can see like obviously the four dark orbs that are its eyes staring at you as it just hangs from this web, like right on top of you. And it goes, we have.
And how many times?
At that question, the spider slowly starts to descend until, you know, his legs get on the ground to kind of get on the level. You can see like the room is starting to like collapse as it is just like destroying the walls and everything as it just kind of sets itself down. And he goes, I don't know.
Well, that would just imply that it was too numerous to count, but, let's see. I guess my next question is, these stones that embody the Titans, what would happen if one were to be destroyed?
At this, the spider looks closer to you, and it goes, oh, so you have finally considered my warnings.
I wouldn't say finally, but there's not really anyone else I can talk to about that. And you only just recently decided to start speaking to me one-on-one. So, what happens?
And the the spider would kind of keep staring as it just kind of tilts its head as it's, just observing you. And it just goes, we die. And everything ends.
I'm sorry. Kipper's just covers his face. But I think Cadsius can see the smile peek through. That's really it. What happens to this world if there are no more Titans? Or I guess you wouldn't know the answer to that, would you? You have never existed beyond yourself.
And he goes, oh, I know. And in your mind, you feel this sensation like intensify a lot more to the point like you feel almost a headache, and in your head you see the image of the Titans fighting. Like I said, the four of them are just clashing against each other, like briefly shows the image on your head, and then it stops. And it goes, I know what happened. And another image shows the Titans roaming around the earth. And behind them, there is a very weird-looking light coming from a specific point, like a light that is centered onto something. And then the image fades out of your mind. And then it goes, and I know what will happen. And in your brain, again, you see the brief flash of the image of the Titans setting down, like Vithius lays down again, blending in with the terrain as a mountain once more. You see Oris returning to the skies, and Ixis going deep underwater, and Cadsius himself just vanishing into the volcano. And it goes, and more importantly, I know what can happen. And another image goes through your head. This time you see the Titans were kind of just existing when suddenly Vithius topples over, the mountain falling, like Vithius falls to its side, the mountain just destroying everything as it crashes against the ground. Oris, flying through the air, is immediately like stops, and it pummels down, making the sun go down with it, and it is just, the sky is just dark now. Ixis, it starts to squeal and squirm out of the water, and it just collapses, its body floating, and the water is slowly turning gray. And Cadsius, walking as its limbs start to solidify and break off as it falls and just collapses onto the ground, crumbling down into pieces, pretty much. And you see the spider once again as this image fades. And it goes, there is only one way to end all of this.
Was that... If you die, does that also destroy everything that is what you embody? Because if that's the case, then that's not a very viable option. What are you seeking to get from this?
I am seeking an end. I am
But
seeking
if-
for balance.
If you and the other Titans as well, will the mortals go on?
And it goes. There is only one way.
Can you just say it with your words then? Is the only way to kill you? Is that the only way?
To that, the spider starts walking, like through the wall, like, you know, destroying the building. And you see that outside of the building, you are no longer again in the upper city, but you see Mistbell outside of the building. And the spider goes, "Do you think I'm a monster?"
I think you are nature. You're not inherently evil, you just are. But what you are destroys the world. And I can't let you destroy what I have found.
And you hear the same weird laugh again, and it goes, "I do not destroy things. I balance things."
Well, if balancing means leveling the world with the rest of the Titans, how many previous civilizations of millions of people have you just erased from existence, just for the next iteration of the world, and then the other and the one past that? I do understand that there's a certain finiteness to mortals in general, but there's some feeling of if everything and all of history will be erased for no one to know that it happened, then I could have accepted that if it was in terms of me, but it's not. I am in agreement with you. There's no need for us to squabble about this.
As you say this, Kipper, your body stops being stiff. You can now move. The spider continues to walk through like Mistbell. It's slowly, very heavily, as it is a giant thing.
What happened? What happens if Crenia reforms?
It will happen what Crenia decides will happen.
And if you die, Crenia can't form.
Stab the beast's heart to kill it.
Will the world be okay if I kill the Titans?
And the spider continues walking, but you can see like it's moving away, obviously, but it continues speaking to you, and it says, "I think you know the answer to that."
Okay. Well, what do you need me to do? If we're gonna be business partners in this.
I don't need you to do anything. I am not controlling you, Kipper.
Well, that was apparent.
However, you seem to be in need of help.
In what sense? I'm
You
not
see-
necessarily the most sane in the bunch.
You see the spider, as it's speaking, it starts to turn around. It's just like pacing around. There is no real, like, path that it takes. And it goes... You try to find evil in things. When sometimes the evil is within you.
You think I don't already know that? You don't think of me that stupid, do you? I just try to ignore it. For the sake of others. But it eats away at me in the night. When you don't find me, anyway. With or without you, that would be the case.
Oh, but I am always there. I am always watching. And I have been for a while.
Yeah. That's okay. Well then. I think we've both said a large portion of our piece. I want to clarify, I don't think you're evil. And I'm sorry that you don't feel you want to exist anymore. But in terms of whatever direction will keep my friend safe, I will do it. And if that means removing you from the equation, it does ease my heart to know that I have your blessing to do it.
And the spider stops, and it goes, good. This, like, good, it kind of echoes across the world itself. In your mind, it feels like it's like echoing and echoing and echoing as you have said this. Well, as he has said this, sorry. And it goes, but first, you must learn to let go.
I think that would have been easier if you weren't pretending to be Liriope for 2 different nights in a row.
Oh, Kipper. But I wasn't pretending. I am not controlling you. Why do you think I am in your thoughts?
Because I let you in.
It is your mind that is playing games with you. It is your mind, the one that poisons your very existence. Think about it. Why do you end up in the place where you had suffered the greatest miseries all the time?
I think you know the answer to that. But thank you for that revelation.
And the spider started to make its way back until it was in front of you, pretty much. But, well, as in front as a giant creature can be. You feel the 4 eyes obviously staring directly at you. And it goes, close your eyes.
I do have one more question. What will become of Rexmoa if his shard is shattered? You see how he faded, albeit not horribly in Galvithia. It was one of the gals.
I think you know the answer to that.
There has to be a way. Just...
Unfortunately, I am not the god who controls your friend's fate. I am only the one who figured it all out.
And I... Okay.
Close your eyes and focus on my voice.
Okay.
And as you close your eyes, obviously, you can't see anything. However, you still feel the tingle of the voice speaking in your head. and it goes, your mind plays tricks with you. You hear this on like one side of your like one ear, and then on another ear it goes, you have suffered a lot. And same deal on the other ear, it goes, but in the end, you must remember, it's not real anymore. And you hear it now on, like, behind you, on the back of your head, a whisper that says, it's all in your head. And suddenly, like, you kind of gasp as you are kind of pushed by some strange force that kind of makes you open your eyes. As like, you know, whoa, you know, kind of like a shock. And once you open your eyes, Kipper, you are no longer on Mistbell. You are actually nowhere. You see just a blank space wherever you're looking. The only thing that is still there is obviously the very large spider. And it goes, your mind is yours and yours alone. And the one of the legs of the spider would like lift itself up and just reach over to you just like touch your head. And as it touches your head, you feel the heat of the spider like going through you, and then you suddenly wake up. You are back on the manor, and you are where you left. Ambrose is still there, the room is the same, everything is fine, you can move and everything. However, Kipper, for the first time ever since you started having these dreams, you did not wake up in a cold sweat. You feel rested, as a matter of fact. Not panic or, you know, anxious.
I'm assuming that I got up a little bit before Ambrose, and I think Kipper would just kind of have a few emotions visibly go over his face, and then he would just kind of like burrow into Ambrose's side and then just kind of lay there, just like, I'm not letting him know anything, and at least until he wakes up.
Yeah, I mean, it is morning, and eventually everybody would start to wake up. But Kipper, as I said, for having another one of your dreams, you did not feel like bad after it, you know?
Very good.
And so with that, as morning approaches and everybody would start to wake up, we are going to end the session there, because I do need to sleep a little early. So, you know.
Yeah.
Completely understandable.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes, I've actually really been enjoying Cadzius and the dreams.
Oh my goodness.
They're intense.
Good.
I hope that random laugh fit wasn't too jarring.
Just the right
I was
amount
like,
of jar.
why is he laughing? It's not funny.
This man laughing.
It's serious, man.
Alrighty, so as per usual, we're gonna say goodbye to the people watching on YouTube. Bye-bye.
Bye, Vod
Bye
Squad.
bye. I love you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night.
I love you.